And for our third presentation on mobile apps, an essential tool for visitor engagement and communication, I'd like to introduce Thomas Dunne. He is the founder of OnCell and has served as president and CEO since its inception in 2006. His hands-on involvement in marketing, strategy, and technology has not only helped to grow the company, but has also empowered over 2,200 organizations to promote their site and share their stories via mobile technology. So please join me in welcoming Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you. It's working? Yeah, okay. Great, thanks so much. It's a great honor to be here. I was nervous this morning when I heard the presentations all about how healthy it is to get out in nature and detach from these mobile devices. And I agree, actually. I completely agree. You know, those awe moments, that flow moments when you're out in the amazing settings. But I think there's a bridge here, and I'll try to see how they kind of work together, because we are not really detaching. And we use these devices all the time. Oh, this is the pointer, which is the, oh, this way, okay. All right, so as you mentioned, my name's Thomas Dunne. This is how I get to my flow, get out and go surfing or sailing. So recently I was in Vietnam, and there's two stories I want to relate from this trip. I was there like 4 weeks ago or so. And this here is my daughter. This is my daughter Maya. This is my son Christopher. This was our tour guide, and my wife Laura. We're biking through this beautiful rice. And what struck me is as we were biking, you'd see the folks working in the fields, and wouldn't you know it that at least 2 out of the 10 people I saw, they had stopped to use their phone. Not great, but again, we're in a very remote area here near Ninh Binh, not too far from where the new King Kong movie was filmed. But anyways, they're on their devices. And the other thing that was interesting about this trip is that we were able to use our mobile devices there through different apps we downloaded and things like that. And I think what was interesting, because I briefly talked with Florence right afterwards, is that this can be a bridge. We explored more. We went a little further than we would have not having some of the technology to kind of keep us a little safer. And we got to actually interact on a real level with things that we might not have seen in the old world, whether it be like Google Translate, where you can kind of feel safe doing things. So this is an interesting segue there. So you guys have all heard this, mobile phones. This is off of Wikipedia here. So U.S. is at about 70% smartphone penetration. And it just keeps growing, and it becomes more and more of our life every day. And you know, there's probably a limit to how far we should go with this, but this next slide is going to be a bit of a joke. But all right, we're all, I would bet you no show of hands, but I have a pretty sense that, you know, I've been guilty of that. So anyhow, but yeah, it's an extension of who we are, and it's only going to increase with wearables and all these things, and virtual and augmented reality. It can tie into the mobile device, and health and safety issues and all those things. So it's kind of part of where we are moving, obviously. So a couple kind of cute pictures about maps. You know, I remember using maps. I'm old enough where we definitely used maps to navigate, and it kind of brings back memories, right? Of course, they never folded up again afterwards, but, and, you know, outside trying to wayfind. But, you know, we've come a long way. So just a little backdrop, where our company started was audio tours, and actually, believe it or not, dial-in tours, where you would actually be at like a national park, and you would dial a phone number. I know it's kind of old school now, but you'd get a tour. And actually, still millions of people get tours that way. They hear stories from rangers or curator artists. That kind of bonds, right? And equipment and stuff like that. Not everywhere, that still exists. But, and people having this. So here was this was a zoo in Southern California, I believe, yeah, Orange County Parks, where the ranger taking a dial-in tour. But we've really come a long way. Here now we have sophisticated and beautiful apps that can be triggered with GPS or beacons. There can be interactive games worked on it. There can be location-aware maps for navigation and so forth. So in a perfect world, I remember probably 8 or 9 years ago talking with a national site, public national park actually, and I remember the rangers telling me there's not enough resources are getting cut, we don't have the staff we wish we had. We would love for a ranger at the ready to give that orientation or that story. Like to have ongoing programming, nonstop programming, so we can tell people what's going on. Field studies. So all our folks know exactly where they're going, right? They know there's no trail, they don't get lost, they're just heading down, and they're very knowledgeable about stewardship issues, geography, everything about the site, right? But in reality, and they're of course ready to listen and learn, but in reality, the folks that come, there's not enough, a lot of times, information, either before they get there or when they're there. If they're offline, how do they get access to that information? So they're looking for information, and it can be a bridge, again, how to get them out. And the unknown happens, the unexpected happens. So what are you going to do? And people are plugged in. We work with a lot of arboretums and botanic gardens, and those folks are like, gosh, please, no technology out here. This is a nature site. But then, the folks in the garden themselves are learning and educating with it. So I think it can be a tool, and it can enhance as well. So this is so funny, actually, because it was about 7 or 8 years ago. I have a big family. I have 8 children. And about, 8 or 9 years ago, my daughter had all her friends for a big campfire. Beautiful night, fireflies everywhere, just amazing. And they're like, at least 7 of the group, like 70% of the group had their phones out. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is ridiculous. Put your phone away, enjoy this outdoors. And I was like, later I asked them, I said, Maya, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're just texting each other. We're just chatting. Anyways, the point is that mobile device, it can be a tool, and so, not that I think that's good, but it's reality. So how do we connect with folks when they're out there? So what do we do? If it's the right time and the right information, I think we can engage and connect. So what OnCell has is a builder. And I think many of you out there, some of the forests out there, some national parks probably are familiar with this. This is how you actually build your app. It's a drag and drop interface. So this is when the person can be out hiking. Maybe they have an iPad, a mini, or a phone, and they can be interacting with their site, learning something, still hopefully getting that experience. This is so, but hopefully the technology, it can be a tool. It can help people be better stewards. It can tell them about where the trails are, how long the trails are, and you can do a lot with it too. And if it's offline, I know a lot of sites, especially in Alaska and certain places in the West, the connectivity is a problem. So we have the ability to put these into the App Store so people can download the data ahead of time. You can put geofencing around it and interact with a map like that, and you can change each bubble to what you want. And then you can do things like notifications on events. So you have programming going on. Well, how do people know about that programming? That can be done and updated through the app. You have notifications for flash floods and things like that that can be built in, push notifications and those type of things, which can be a great tool. I think one of the reasons we're really excited is we have a partnership with the forest now, where we're trying to build out apps for all of the forest, all the units. We're currently at 36 forests, so if you're a forest that's here that isn't signed up yet, but this is kind of, and this was Brandon here. Yeah, isn't that cute? He had a ribbon cutting ceremony, San Juan National Forest. So yeah. And then we have a portal app. So this way, we have one of these for the national parks as well. But This is where you can get a quick glance of the folks that have apps and that you can access that and interact with that. So we work with all different types of sites, a lot of like the U.S. Botanic Garden over here and other places. And okay, back to my flow. Thank you very much. Thank you.